All right, hey everyone, welcome back to another video. It's my 8th episode. Thank you for tuning in and thank you for following along. Check out our previous videos on our YouTube channel and follow us on Blossom Social. That's where we're most active. Can't believe we're at 166 followers. I think, in the last video we're at 149. So quite a lot of followers joined. And yeah, just four more to get to 170. So be cool if we could get to 170. But in terms of this week, I mean, just before that, the markets seem pretty red overall. We did see quite a red day on Friday. S&P, Dow, Nasdaq, and Russell were all down. So as I expected, September is when we usually expect September, October, either a sell-off, and it's either a major one or a minor one, and only time will tell. We did see some top gainers, I mean, in the big market caps, and then some smaller Bitcoin mining plays. But yeah, so it's interesting. What I like about, talking about Bitcoin, and yeah, here you can see, the sector overall kind of red, technology, which takes up the most. But what I like about Bitcoin is that it's usually a leading indicator. So it's something I've always noticed, and it's not always true, but most times it's true where, Bitcoin is down on the previous night, usually the markets will open negative unless there's some catalyst or some major news in terms of the economy or something to do with any of the inflation data or yeah, CPI data. So, but yeah, it's usually a good indicator, kind of gives me also an idea of how the market's going to play. But yeah, so coming back to uh Blossom, thank you again for this week's Ticker Tuesday submissions. We got quite a lot, which was nice. So as usual, I'll do the first 10 in this video and then I'll do the next 10 in the next video. And yeah, thank you for the submissions. Thank you for the engagement. Keep it coming. And as usual, you never know which stock will actually have the strong buy or the buy signal, which will work out for a good play for everyone in the community. So coming to the charts, last week we had a single signal on RMBS from someone's Ticker Tuesday submission. The stop buy was 75.79. It was a normal buy, so usually you take those with a little bit of caution. And price action was a little bit interesting in this one. So you had that's your 75.79. These are weekly candles. So lots of buyers stepped in, and then you have a lot of sellers pushing this back down all the way. So that makes it really interesting. We are at all-time highs. So, I would think that either there has to be some form of catalyst or some kind of news in this stock for it to move in whichever direction that it needs to move. But yeah, on the daily you can see here. So I think that's the beginning of the week. Yeah, Monday. And so yeah, this gap up actually, a little bit of a gap up, and then this massive red candle, um, which just took off any of the gains. So what is interesting is so we do have another buy signal this week as well. So still a long way to move from its close at 73, 77 all the way up to 81. So I'm curious to see how this will play, and really interesting pricing action. You know, sellers pushed it all the way down and buyers pushed it back up, and then buyers try to push it up more, and then sellers push it back all the way down. So lots of wicks. I normally don't like wicks when they start forming, um, but it is definitely in an interesting zone, right at an all-time high. So let's see how this stock plays out. The next one was the public signal. So we had BWMX as usual. We still have an open position on it. It's just consolidating. It was nice that even on a red day on Friday and even like a black kind of week, it still held up, which was nice. and consolidating. So I'm curious to see how it's going to react closer to earnings. Will it start retracing or just consolidate before another leg up? So, even though we had this move, there's still a lot of resistance above it. And you typically see this like, this nice pull up, might have a little retrace, and then another pull up, push up to get past that red, that big red zone of resistance that this stock has been under for quite a while. So yeah, let's just see how this stock plays. The other one, which was really interesting, was Neo, which I bought. I mean, in hindsight, it's a little bit scary because I bought it at the peak of its run. So I'm not sure if that was a good play or not. So that's my actual buy. Um, but yeah, so you mean we had the strong buy from the strategy. Unfortunately, we never scanned Neo, so we didn't even know that signal existed. But from that signal, I think it would have been already a 60 or 70% gain. But yeah, this one, why I find interesting is, when I was speaking about BWMX and about that resistance, that big red zone resistance that's always on top of these stocks that are quite depressed. This one has actually broken above that. So that's kind of interesting. And even this one, actually, this section over here, if I can, I'll just mark it over here. So this part as well actually never broke any of that major resistance cloud, let's say, that you're seeing. And so, but over here, it did. And so that gets interesting. Closer to earnings, obviously, it's really close. I'm curious to see how the stock will react. They are expecting a loss, but the EPS is higher than before. And we are seeing some bullish, I guess, sentiment, you could say, in terms of the stock, in terms of the company. So I'm curious to see how this will go. And yeah, so Neo, let's see what happens with Neo. The last one was GPRE. So this one is interesting because we actually held this stock for a long time in the negative. So we were buying using our old strategy from like July to Augustish, I guess. And it was quite a lot of dollar cost averaging because we were going from $16 all the way to I think $5 if I'm not mistaken. And that's a long way to hold in the negative and then still more negative, and our average was I think 784. Yeah. And so um I think made a post about this, yeah, which was here. It was just trying to highlight the difference in, you know for us holding the stock versus just following the strategy. Now obviously not every strong buy works out this clean. And even here you can see like it what I usually want to see is, you get the strong buy signal and then you get multiple buys after that. It's showing that there's momentum, there's volume building up, and there is strength in the move and in the direction, and it's building a trend. And that's when I like to get in because, you're just basing all that past information and making a decision on all that data. Whereas this one, I mean, you do have a strong buy, but then you have like a little bit of sell off, and then you have another buy signal, and then another buy. So this gets interesting. Two buys right next to each other, but then nothing, and then another buy, and then nothing, and then another buy, and then another strong candle, which pushes, and there's another buy signal here. So not the typical move I'd want to see, but it is interesting that there is a lot of buying pressure, and you can see it. And so, yeah, so even if this stock, I actually haven't checked where, talking about like those big red zone resistances, I actually don't know if it is crossed. I'll just do analysis and check maybe next week and see if it has actually crossed those big major resistances. But what is interesting though is, it came very close to its, I'd say, I'm not sure if this is the all-time low, but to a point where there has been a lot of major swings. So here in 2012, all the way in 2000, back in 2012, and then obviously in 2020, and now again here. And if history, repeats, that those are nice moves, right? Because from that same point, that's almost like 1,000% move for each of these runs that has happened. And so you're seeing that same move again, which is getting interesting. And if it does move, that's a long move to go, right? From 1175 to almost, just to be realistic, it's not going, I don't think it's going to go all the way to its peak, but let's say halfway to even $30. That's still, quite a big move. Um, and those are the kinds of moves that we want to see. So let's say you do follow this signal, that's still 100% move. So you double your money. Um, the other interesting thing, so aside from the bottom swing low, is right now at that 1175, it is also at a point where it has had multiple touchdowns, right? So like let's say if I just go from here, again, this is a weekly chart, so you're looking at a big scale. You're not going down all the way on the daily or the hourly. And so, yeah, so you have a point here that it swings up, and then you have another point here which swings up but it breaks through. You have another here point here, swings up and goes. So some really good support, I guess, slash resistance. So if it does break that, it gets really interesting to see where the stock would move. So I just thought I'd bring that into the public. It's something that we've been holding for quite a while. And I believe I also posted our weight. Yeah, so it was quite a lot, 20%. I'm actually not too sure if I should sell a portion of it because, usually based on our strategy, what we do is when it crosses 30% in terms of return. Yeah, so this return is as of 24th. I think at the end of this week, we are up 45%. So we never sold at the 30%. We normally sell 50% of our position. So I'm curious what you guys think as well. Should I sell? Should I not sell? I guess is the biggest question that everyone has all the time. For now, I'm holding it because it is a bigger portion of my portfolio. And if this does to swing a lot higher, works in my favor, right? So yeah, so those are the public signals as of this week that I wanted to share publicly. Now moving on to the Ticker Tuesday submissions. Let's go through them really quickly. So the first one is FN. We had, a strong buy in October 2022. That was up 30%. You had another strong buy in 23, up 200%. And then you had another strong buy recently, which was in May 25, and that was up 60%. So really nice move on Fabrinet. No new signals. It looks like it's just in a, really good uptrend. Probably really, um, yeah, I'm not sure exactly where the stock will go because it's hitting all-time highs, same as that RMBS. There has to be some form of catalyst for it to move higher, I'd say. The next one is DOL. So I'm not sure if you meant DOL like Dollarama for Canadian or this one, Wisdom Tree Dividend Fund. Unfortunately, we can't scan Canadian stocks. We don't have the package yet. But if it is this one, this is a good play as well. I mean, because you had a strong buy in November 23, which was quite a while back. It's up 37%. And during that time, you got your dividends, which is, I think, is a nice play to have when you're trying to do dividend funds. Because I find it quite, it doesn't make sense if you're buying a dividend or any type of those stocks or ETFs or whatever, and you get the monthly income, but your stock is actually going down in value. I don't know if that makes sense. Unless your goal is to make income, but yeah. Anyways, so that would have been a good play for um, Wisdom Tree. Got your dividends and your capital gain, which is nice. The next one was LMND. This one was interesting because I only got one strong buy as per my strategy, was up 60%. That was somewhere around 23. Tried to look at the normal buys, and there was one in October 24, up 100% if you held it all the way to the max. And then there was another one in June 25, which was quite recent, that would be up 50%. Yeah, nothing much to say about the stock. I'm not sure where it will head. It is making, this nice little swing, so I would think that it will try to retrace all the way back to somewhere around 116 maybe dollars if it's trying to do this this step action, I'd say. Next one is MXF. Um, if the chart can load. Oh yeah, sorry. This one I don't know. Again, this was a fund, so I don't think I was able to get any points on this one. So sorry about that. Whoever submitted this. SGU is the next one. Um, this one also, you had to buy up 60%. It was around November 2022, and then another one in 24 up 20%. What I found interesting about this is so usually, um, you know, to limit my scanning results, I'll like try to see anything that has gone up with a certain percentage, maybe 5 to 10%, and see if there's a little bit of volume with it. And that's how the stock, comes into my scanner results, and then I can see. But this one is very interesting because, if you see the stock, it's only up 2% and then 0.81% and then 0.57 and then negative 0.57, and then you get this massive 9 and 20. So I would have actually never, this stock would have never come up in my scanner, and it's hard to scan the entire market. I wish I had the resources to scan the entire market for signals continuously. But yeah, so this one would have missed, and we wouldn't have been able to find that strong buy here. So that's something like, you're seeing this in hindsight, but in real time, to actually find the stock is what is the hardest part, I feel. And also, I'm not too sure if they purposely, if institutions were in here, if they purposely were making sure that it was small gains or small moves before the big move, just so that people wouldn't get in. They do that sometimes, but I'm not sure if they did it here. The next one is TCBX. This one I believe is the only stock in the 10 stocks today that does have a buy signal. So for this week, so we have a buy of 40.66. This is the stop buy. I'll put the Excel sheet or whatever on the video here. But yeah, so you had a strong buy in June actually, so quite recent, maybe a couple of months ago. And then yeah, so you have a strong buy, and then you have a couple of buys here um, leading up. So it gets really interesting when there's a lot of buys. But the only reason I'm not too confident about this one again is the same as RMBS. It's at an all-time high. I have no idea why buyers are stepping in here, who those buyers are, and why they're trying to push it up. Is there a catalyst coming up? So, those are the kind of questions I'm thinking when I'm sitting at an all-time high. If I was here, uh, way depressed, yeah, it's definitely something interesting. I honestly don't care what people are thinking. There is some momentum building, there's some trend building, there is strength in the move. Just run with that move, right, and run with that trend. But here it's you're basically in no man's land, I would say. The next one is NDLS. And yeah, so this is a stock that I'm looking at, right? So this is something that I'd be looking at closely. It's depressed quite a bit. We're trying to see those momentum shifts if there is any, and if there's a trend building, and if there's any strength in that direction. So, whoever submitted this stock, these are the stocks that I'm trying to keep in my watch list, let's say, and I'm trying to see, hey, is there a move happening, and get in before the analyst coverage or the analyst raises, or so yeah, I'm not sure if that is manipulation or even insider, because that's something I've always thought about in terms of the strategy. How is the stock moving before the news? So, but yeah, I mean, just something to think about. Either way, my main, I guess, idea, what I'm trying to say is this is the stock that I'm looking at, something that's depressed quite a bit, and I'm trying to see if there's any change in direction or momentum happening. So you can see the stock trying to, you have these big moves, right? So 18%, 16%, and then it dumps more, and then 17, and then 12, and then dumps more, and then, another 61%. So yeah, so there is a lot of push up. Now, obviously, the stock could keep going down all the way and then just get bankrupt. That's a high possibility, or OTC'd. So, but if the strategy picks up a buy or a strong buy and you get that 61% move, or even that um 18 plus 16% move, that's still good. I mean, you get in, get out, you got your gain, and that's good. But if it builds the direction, like, a trend, that's even better. So yeah, this is where there's, like, there's more probabilities if this starts moving, that it moves quite a lot more in terms of the percentage gain versus something that's at a, resistance or an all-time high. Sorry if I'm rambling, but I'm just trying to make a point here. Anyways, so NDLS is something I'd be watching. SHBI is the next one. Um, This one is, we have it strong by, oh, sorry, we had a strong buy in April 24, up 50%, and now we have an open strong buy actually in April 25. It still hasn't hit the 20% mark. Let's see what happens here, because this might be a double top. If it breaks that resistance, then yeah, it can go all the way to 20 bucks and even more. So yeah, let's see what SHBI does. The next one is PBPB. Um, I guess Potbelly. This is the same. Actually, sorry, this had to be yellow because it is a strong buy, open strong buy. So yeah, this one, we had a strong buy in May 2025, so quite recent, couple of months ago. Again, same concept. It's, close to an all-time, I wouldn't say, sorry, not an all-time high, but there is a major resistance here, I would say, right? Because of this dump, if it's able to break that, then yeah, there's quite a lot of room to go. I feel like this stock, just based on this consolidation break, and then this, this would be quite a long move to come back all the way up. Um, so let's see what happens. Again, this is from now. The market can always change. Potbelly could freaking become the next, I don't know, $1 trillion stock. I highly doubt it, but yeah. Anyway, so it could change, and it could change fast, right? So it's just, again, watching the stock to see how it reacts at these different points, because there is quite a lot of consolidation here. The next one is DCBO. Um, I'm not sure why, but I feel like this stock is quite familiar. Um, I can't remember, but anyway, so we did have a strong buy, which was a loss, at negative 26%. It happened around 2022. We had another one that was up 30% and another one up 20%. Looks like it's trying to build some momentum here, but it's quite weak. I mean, you do have a price target increase, but yeah, as of now, I'm not too sure if there's enough momentum building to see an actual move for DCBO. So yeah, those are your 10 tickers for this week. And as I said, you have a weekly, sorry, you have a buy for this week, and that's TCBX. Your stop buy is at $40.66. It's a normal buy, so uh, you know, just be cautious, and that's your stop loss. Um, Other than that, I think that is all for this week. Um, yeah, so stay tuned And for next week, because I know that there were a lot of tickers submitted this for this ticker Tuesday, so we'll probably next week we'll see if any of these had any. Yes, I think this is where I stopped. DCBO, that was 10 tickers. So beyond this, we'll do all this and see if any of them have any hits. So sorry if don't do it this week, and if there was a signal, that would be sucky. But yeah, I can only do 10 because that's how much time I have. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. And yeah, let me know in the comments if you would like to see something more. If you wanna, yeah, any ideas on even how to scan stocks or find these stocks, that would be really cool. And so yeah, have a good weekend. Have a good long weekend here in Canada, and stay safe and stay invested. See you guys.